You're watching The Edward Fowler Show. Now, here's your host, Edward Fowler.
Hello indeed, and welcome to the late show here tonight. Apologies for the delay. It would have been a bit earlier, but my guest was stuck in traffic, the busy traffic in London. So apologies. We are live as planned this evening, and what a great get for the show, because I didn't actually reach out to you. I guess your people somehow found my channel, and reached out to me asking if I'd be interested in having you on the show. And I thought, yeah, why not? You have a legendary career, so it's a pleasure to have you on the show, Adrian. No, it's an absolute pleasure. I appreciate your time this evening, and it's a pleasure as always here. And tell us about when you found out that I was interested in having you on the show tonight. What was your reaction? I guess you didn't have a clue who I was. I guess.
Well, to be honest, no, I didn't. But that doesn't matter. I mean, I'm sure you're, a very fine gentleman, and you got a good show. Yeah, it's. I've been in London all this week rehearsing for my show.
Yeah, which we'll get into.
It's been a little bit grueling because I had jet lag, and I'd never met the band before. So I had like 4 or 5 days of rehearsing every day. And today I did the last rehearsal before the show tomorrow. And yeah, I've been running around like a blue-ass fly.
Yeah, and as well, the traffic doesn't help when you need to get somebody somewhere in a pretty fast pace. It always something happens, doesn't it? I feel like whenever you don't have something planned, you can get there on time. But as soon as you got something planned in the books, something something always stops you. I know it happens to me a lot. I don't know if it happens to you often.
Yeah, there's tons of traffic. London is like nuts right now. It's nuts. Every road that the cabs go down, they're closed, and it's different to California.
Yes. Yeah. Well,
I
don't know. I feel like California has a lot of traffic as well. There's always something crazy going on. If it's loads of people trying to leave the city, it's either pursuits going on. Always something crazy happening in California.
Yeah, I know. Mostly me.
But talk to us about this. Of course, your new album, which we have it on our screens right here. It's called Blood, Sweat and Years. If you do follow me on Instagram, I was sharing a snippet or so yesterday, as well as on Instagram today when I was advertising this just minutes ago on Instagram. So tell us about the name of this album, because I know you've named one of the songs after it as well.
Yeah, well, it's Blood, Sweat and Years. As you know, I've been making records since I was 15 years old, and now I'm 75 years old, so it's a good 60 years of making records and bringing up my children and living in California and being a producer and writing for many artists and making them stars and doing something completely different to what I used to do. I mean, the first part of my career was me making albums and me touring, and then when I moved to America about 35 years ago, I turned into like songwriter producer. Studio at the house, artists coming, developing artists. And about a year ago, I really didn't want to do that anymore. I said to my wife, I want to get back to being Adrian. And who is Adrian now? And what have I learned over all these years? And I wanted to do my own album, and I did it in my own studio on my own. I collaborated with a friend of mine called Charlie Midnight, who's a great writer, and he would like help me with some of the lyrics, and I would send him my lyrics and send him my ideas, and he'd send them back. And I went in the studio and made this album, and it really meant a lot to me. Meaning that, what we all go through, bringing up your children. I've had a life of nothing but music, and it really was blood, sweat, and years. And that was the first song that I came up with. And once I had that song, it kind of spoke to me, and I knew the direction that I wanted to go for the record. And song came after it. Song came after song, came after song, came after song. And I spent 8 to 9 months, maybe 10 months in the studio on my own every single day. And I was just locked into making this album. And a lot of times, artists get in the studio, they make records and they don't believe in them. And they might think, yeah, it's not that great, but when I finished the album, I actually cried because I thought it was one of the best albums that I'd ever done. And I love it. And I wanted to take it all the way. And I think my wife said to me, why, because I said, I want to go on tour. I want to tour this record. I want to tour it. I want to go and play this record to all the fans that ever bought me records. And she said, are you nuts? Why the hell do you want to go and do that? And I said, well, it's better than eating peanuts in the back garden. So I did. And I got a manager in London. And then we thought, okay, we'll test the market. And everybody seemed to come back and say that they loved the album. Incredible reviews. The reviews have been just like marvelous. And then we picked a date to do a small venue to promote the record and get press and radio and people down. And it's sold out. The show is sold out tomorrow. I've been here a week rehearsing with this really great band. And the show is really going to be great. And it's tomorrow night at 8:00. I'll be actually going on stage and performing for the first time in 36 years.
Wow. And I bet you're quite, I guess it's been quite fun and I guess stressful at the same time, getting everything correct and perfect as possible for tomorrow night, as you mentioned, for your first performance in over 30 years. But I guess tomorrow night when you're on the stage this time tomorrow, I guess the nerves will kick in, because I guess you'll feel a bit nervous maybe, or maybe not.
No, I'll be nervous. You can't not be nervous. If you're not nervous, then I don't think you're really in it. It's like if you're too nonchalant with anything that you do in life, a special occasion like this, you have to be a bit nervous. But the room is going to be filled with a ton of fans and a ton of friends and people that, have got a lot of love for me. So it's not like you're getting in a room where people are going to be whistling and say, get off, you old bastard.
No.
It's going to be cool. And, if I make mistakes, well, they're going to be honest mistakes. And if I, forget a word in one of the songs, it's going to be an honest thing. I'm not worried about it. And I'm very confident that my singing is the same as it was when I was 20. And my guitar playing is equally as good as it ever was, if not even better. So, it's going to be what it is, whatever it is.
Yeah, but I'm sure it's going to be a great time. People are going to enjoy themselves. Hopefully we'll even sing along as well, which might help you out a lot in the long run as well. If you, in case you do forget any of the lyrics, I'm sure you won't. But if you do, I'm sure your fans will be there right behind you, supporting you the entire time, including your friends as well.
Yeah, well, a lot of them don't know the new album, but I have incorporated some hits that I've had into the set. So there'll be like little landmarks along the show. Yeah, and those are the songs that they will be able to know and sing along with. But no, it's, I'm intrigued. Right now, I have friends that have come from literally all over the world. I've got friends from Spain, France, Belgium, California. They've all flown in for the show.
That's good.
And yeah, and I've got family members that I haven't seen for years, and they'll all be there.
That's cool. Is your wife going to be there as well?
Oh yeah, she's there. Yeah.
I bet her reaction has been quite wonderful. I bet from what you said about going on tour around the world with your new album, from what you mentioned earlier.
No, my wife's going to be there for sure.
yeah. I'm sure she will enjoy the performance, and I might change her mind. Like maybe you should go on tour around the world with it, if Tomorrow Night goes successful for you. So I'm sure it will.
I'm ready. I'm ready to do it.
And of course, if you want to, if you want to know where it's going to be at, of course, obviously it's probably already finished, but you can check it out Wednesday night. The Water Rats in London, 8 p.m. Is when Adrian will be on the stage from, and I'm sure it's going to be a lit night. And if you're not able to get tickets or be a part of that, then I guess you can be squared. But you can be rest assured it's going to be a night to remember, and hopefully this might start a brand new tour for Adrian around the UK and even around Europe and even America for this new album.
Yeah, well, I wanted to focus first on Europe because mostly, I was born here, and all my hit records that I had and super groups with Ginger Baker and the Moody Blues and various different, The Gun, and it was all European and English based. In California, I'm more known as a producer and a songwriter.
Yeah.
And not so much as, like a performing artist, but hopefully everything goes great in Europe and in England, and then I will then concentrate on America.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I'll go and do some shows and promote it in the States.
Good to hear. By the way, I do like the fact that your album is also on vinyl. I feel like more people should have their music on vinyl because it's back in the trend, just like it was when you were in your 20s, I'm sure. So, were you quite surprised back, a few years ago when you heard about how vinyl is back in the trend, back in the fashion again, or did you always thought it would always be a part of, I guess, living life?
Well, I'd never made an album that wasn't vinyl. So it was always my intention that I would make a vinyl album. And yeah, I mean, it just goes without saying it had to be a vinyl album. I mean, it is on CD and you can get it on Spotify and iTunes, but primarily I wanted, obviously, to have a vinyl record.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And it's good to say because I was speaking to another gentleman yesterday and he was debating about putting his record on vinyl, but there's a lot of costs goes into that and making them and stuff like that. So it's good to see more and more people going to add the vinyl option because again, it's taking off, isn't it? Just like CDs are still here as well, and of course you can buy it on, of course, streaming platforms across Spotify, iTunes, as you mentioned, and many other else. Where else you can get your music from as well? You can always buy it on Amazon as well. This is great. But of course, my guest is not yawning at me. He's had a very long day rehearsing for tomorrow night. I just want to put that in there. I'm hopefully not boring you out. But talk to me about the cover art as well, because I do like it. It's very colourful, and I want to know what was your thinking behind it.
Well, to be honest, I tried dozens of different covers, and they all felt wrong to me. Okay. I just couldn't find the cover they were like, it's just very, very difficult to find the cover that I wanted. And then one day, the guy that was actually making it, making my cover, he sent me this picture of the sunset. And I just looked at it and I thought, it's so simple, but to me, it represented blood, sweat, and years, the years that you go through. And when I saw it, I just said, yeah, that's it. It's just very simple, but I think it reflects what the album is about.
Fair enough, but it works perfectly well with the album, I have to say. And since it's been out now for a couple of weeks, what's been the instant reaction? Has people been saying that they prefer a certain track from it, or have you been hearing that they enjoy every single track you've released on the album?
I think some of the reviews that I've seen, and I'm not supposed to boast myself, but they've all been amazing.
Good.
And just incredible reviews. Yeah, people are saying that it's, they waited all this time, but nobody's disappointed and they love it, and they think it's a masterpiece.
Well, that's good. That's what we like, because I'm sure when you first announced that you were making this album, I'm sure people were, I guess, excited and shocked, because they probably thought that you were probably done in being a performance artist. So I bet there were many people of your fan base overwhelmed and overjoyed to see you return.
Yeah, well, it seems so.
That's good. That's good. It just shows you're still very relevant in their lives, and they want to see you performing again. And it's great to see that. And I hope that continues for more years to come as a performing artist now.
Look, none of us know what tomorrow will bring, but I've done this since I was a little boy, and this is my life, and I see it as an artist. I'm an artist, and I don't want to stop being an artist. I don't want to stop singing. I don't want to stop playing guitar until it stops me. So I will be doing another album. I hope to be doing next year a best of Adrian Gurvitz album.
Love it.
Where I'm going to take all the best songs that I loved over all those albums, and I'm going to reproduce them and re-sing them and put them in a different light, and package it up and sell it as the best of Adrian Gurvitz. And then as long as God keeps me alive and I can keep going forward, I'll go forward as far as I can. I think in life, you've got to do what you believe, and you've got to take chances. And I did. I took a chance on this record. I took a chance on coming to England and, and finding a band and rehearsing. But I'm excited, and I'm really happy that I did it.
Good to hear. And I'm sure it'll be a great event tomorrow night. And can't believe that you've only had a week to work with this band, and everyone's going to see the great work you guys have all put in. I bet the long hours have been worth it, and I'm sure people will love it tomorrow night. I want to mention there as well, like if everything goes well, when you decide to release future singles or albums in the future, if you're able to, of course, is there anybody you want to collaborate with who you've worked with in the past as a record producer, or even doing other singles and albums with?
I'm not going to do that anymore. I made a promise to myself that, I've been making artists or trying to make them successful for like 30 years. I've written with everyone from, I did the Bodyguard album.
Yeah.
I've done Steve Perry. I've worked with just so many artists that it's just gone out of me now. I don't really want to do it. All I want to do is do my own art, even if it's scribbling on a bit of paper.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to do my own art. I haven't got the time or the thought to work with or collaborate with other artists. It's just not for me right now.
That's understandable.
All I really want, all I want to do is put out my own music, my own songs, and live or die by what happens to them.
Yeah, no, I get that completely.
Yeah,
You've
just I've done my time.
yes, you've done your time working with other people. Now it's time to work on yourself and to see where you are in the 2024. So, I'm guessing then one of your goals, which you wanted to complete for this year, was releasing this new album, going on a kind of a tour as well with this album. What other goals have you got which you want to hopefully achieve either by end of this year or maybe by 2025?
Well, I mean, just wherever the road takes me. I mean, I just want to rock and roll. I just want to play my guitar and sing my songs, and wherever it takes me, it takes me. It's just, you can't really plan anything in this life. You never know what's around the corner. I'm just going forward, and whatever comes. And that, that's really where it is. It's like every morning you wake up believing, and every night you're too tired to pray.
Yeah.
But you just keep on pushing. You just keep on pushing and believing. And it don't always go your own way. But tomorrow may get better because it's written in the sand. And then the wind blows it away forever, and you're right back where you began. And that's what our lives are about. We all keep pushing forward. We just keep pushing forward, and we hope that we don't get thrown back again. But you got to keep getting up and keep going forward. So I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what's going to happen. I just want to be well. I want my kids to be well. I want my wife to be well. My friends to be well. I want the world to be well. The world is just in a complete mess. And part of what I've written on this album, Blood, Sweat and Years, is talking about the world and what's important to us. It's not about like, look at me, I'm a sensation. I got this new pop single. It's not about that. It's about saying something that maybe someone can take away and listen to and get a message that helps them. And really, Adrian's been writing songs like that for about 50 or 60 years. Those are the songs that I always wrote, even when I was with Baker Gurvitz Army, all the lyrics on all the records that I wrote. I mean, the gun was different. It was just like 18 years old and I was a belligerent rock guitar player. But as I've grown through the years, I'm just going forward honestly, as honest and as natural as I can be.
Yeah, well, you are, and I think that's why people have given you sort of rave reviews on your album, because of the fact that you're relaying it to the world, trying to bring, I guess, positivity from it, and people can relate to that and get their own messages from listening to your music. So kudos to you, because we do need positivity, as you say, in this very awful time of the world at the moment. Moving forward a little bit, when you are, when you're out and about, or maybe when you're checking in on the different sites you look at for when you're looking at reviews, is there a particular song which people always point out to you, which they always say is their favourite from all the records you have released?
You mean in my life?
Yeah.
Well, Classic was a very big one.
Yeah.
It seemed to hit people in the heart, literally. Millions of people have played Classic, and they love it. They love that song. Millions of people have played Even If My Heart Breaks from The Bodyguard. Millions of people have played Race for the Devil, which was my first hit.
Yeah.
With Gun. that was a hit record. You know, the fans are out there. I but you know, again, it is what it is. I don't know. I know that there's so many people that just fortunately like me, and they liked what I've done through the years, and I'm just happy to have those fans. I'm happy to have those people that like Adrian.
Yeah, no, you're right. You are completely right because you know you released a single in October in this month in 1968, and it went up to the top 10 in the UK, and you got a lot of popularity from that. And who'd have thought all these years later in October in 2024 you'd be talking to myself? Who'd have thought that all these years later? Eh? Nobody did.
I know, no idea.
Yeah.
No, I got. If people had said to me that the next year after 68 that I'd still be doing this, I'd have said, well, I don't know, maybe I will, maybe I won't.
Yeah.
But 60 years later, it's like a miracle.
And
something keeps me going.
Exactly, it does, and it's good to see that because you are able to still collaborate and bring something new to the table all these years later with your very experienced mind over the past, almost 6 decades, and continue it going. Keep it going as long as you can, obviously. But I mean, you've been to many different places around the world. Is there a particular place you would recommend for anybody who might be watching or listening tonight to visit from your experience, which you've enjoyed visiting?
You mean a place in the world?
Yeah, like when you've been touring, because you've been to many different places. I'm sure you've enjoyed lots of different sites over your career so far.
Mm-hmm. Well, I've been everywhere.
Exactly. So you probably have plenty of different recommendations you could give.
Well, I personally love the south of France for many reasons. I can't speak French, but I just love the south of France. I love Saint-Jean-Cap-Ferrat, which is near Monte Carlo.
Ooh.
And I always get the greatest feeling when I'm there. I love that. I have been to Hawaii many times, and I love Maui. I think it's, got a very spiritual feeling. I like Perth in Australia. That was a great city. I don't know.
So great places you should go and visit. Miss Adrian has recommended here this evening. And by the way, I really learned this recently that you've only been on social media for a couple of years, which is cool to see. And how you finding being on social media? Because of course, when you first started out, I guess it was a lot harder to attract fans and to get them to follow you and enjoy your music compared to the last 30 years or so now, where pretty much because the internet's around, you can pretty much find anybody on any streaming platform, on any social medias nowadays to really find and connect with that person easier.
Yeah, I gotta be honest, I don't really give a damn about social media. And I don't, really, I don't really care about social media. I don't care about TikTok. I don't care about those kind of things. I just care about making great music, and organically, if there are fans that love my music, great.
Yeah.
And if they don't, I'm not gathering sheep. I don't need to make sensational things on social media so to draw people in. It's about the music, and it's got to get back to that, because I just think that a lot of these platforms have degraded music. Rock and roll in America is virtually dead. It's all become, gone. I mean, it's just gone. I mean, there are no new bands coming through, and nothing new. It's just all the old people just keep making records, AC/DC, there's a few bands like Queens of the Stone Age that I love, and then I also love Radiohead.
Yeah.
But for the most part, it's rock and roll is kind of like over.
Yeah.
And I think it's a lot to do with social media and TikTok. And I mean, you wouldn't expect Nirvana to want to be on TikTok, would you?
No.
And Bob Dylan doesn't want to be on it either.
No, and I guess as well because of that, but I'm guessing streaming sites as well, making it harder for I guess you guys to make money because the more traditional ways are now existence, aren't they? Kind of thing. So it's more I guess the aging, I guess of the popularity of the streaming sites, but it's making it more favorable for younger generations and making it harder for the music people to make a living, making it much harder.
Well, it's terrible. I mean, like Spotify, $10, you can have 5,000 songs a month. It's not fair. I think it's, people are dwindling away because they can't make any money.
Yeah.
And social media and Spotify downloads, it's just not what it was. It's just not, like Supertramp would come out, have an album, maybe sell 8 million albums, and they made money and they deserve to make money. But now a lot of people are just not making any money because it's just all been watered down so much. It's nearly like criminal, that songwriters are not getting what they should get.
Yeah.
It's okay for Taylor Swift. It's okay for Taylor Swift, and it's okay for, say Oasis to come back. But Oasis deserves every penny they make because I think they were one of the greatest British rock bands ever, and the greatest songs. And yeah, if I was going to collaborate, I might collaborate with them.
Perfect. I love that answer.
Yeah.
Well,
I would collaborate with one of them, but you know what I'm saying? It's just not what it was.
No, I completely agree with you. I agree, and it is wrong. And I think this would be a better way for artists to be paid fairly for the music they are publishing on these different sites. So no, I completely agree with you there. But it's been an absolute pleasure. I don't want to keep on it too long because I want you to make sure you're 100% for tomorrow night. And again, just remind people that tomorrow night my guest Adrian is going to be performing live at the Water Rats in London tomorrow night. And of course you can purchase his album as we speak, Blood, Sweat and Years on
Sweat.
Yeah, Blood, Sweat, yes.
No, Sweat.
Yeah, so it's on the screen, the graphics there on the screen, and you can purchase it through your website. You can purchase it on, of course, the streaming platforms, on vinyl, on CDs, you name it, it'll be there. And once again, Adrian, I hope tomorrow night is a blast. I hope it goes very well for you and be a great success. And I hope that this was the start of something new for you in the return of you as a performing artist.
Well, thank you so much for the interview. It's been great talking to you.
No, thank you again for your time, and thank you, Mel, for accepting the invite to come on the show tonight, despite having the traffic issues in London this evening as well, because it isn't always fun being stuck in London traffic.
All right, mate.
Yeah, no, thank you for your time, Adrian. Much appreciated.
Okay, you take care of yourself.
You too as well. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. So that was Adrian here on the show tonight. Great guest, fantastic answers he gave us to those questions. Very insightful guy. I like it. Very honest, and I like that. I like when people are honest on the show, and it's always a pleasure to have on new faces. Of course, we had on last night. If you missed it, it's worth a watch as well. 2 great episodes today of Adrian Gurvitz, and of course, my other guest, Duncan Moss, from last night as well. 2 great guests, of course. One of them I reached out to, this Adrian Gurvitz. I want to thank his management team for reaching out to me. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed the conversation. Apologies if you didn't. It wasn't intentional, but I hope maybe I might be able to feature somebody else from your team. But if you are a guest, a potential guest, or a potential publicist watching this for the first time and want to actually reach out to me, you can. It's not hard to find my social media. It's on the YouTube About page. It's also on my social media. So if you go to my social media, you'll find my email address where you can contact me directly as well. I want to say as well, thank you to everyone who has subscribed to this channel so far. Most appreciate everyone who's wanting to watch this random talk show, podcast, rambling, whatever it is. But most appreciate everyone who's tuned in. And if you enjoyed tonight's episode, make sure to smash that like button, share the video around, tell everybody about Adrian Gurvitz as well. Make sure to leave a comment. Let me know what you thought of this conversation. Did you enjoy it? Did you not enjoy it? Tell me what I can improve more. Every suggestion is welcome here on my channel. So please leave a comment. And if you're new around here and want to see more of my great content, then smash that subscribe button. Over 271 of you have done so far. But until the next episode, whenever that may be, I enjoy the rest of your afternoon or evening. Thank you again for tuning in.